Stress management is one of the popular, a well-known term after the time management in management system. There are a lot of methods by which you can manage your stress. But to know how to manage your stress, first you must know what is the meaning of this stress. Where does this stress come from? This stress doesn't come from outside world. The stress comes from inside of you. So to work out this stress, you have to go inside. So what is the stress? Any particular situation or thought which leads to a trauma, maybe a light trauma, maybe a hard trauma, is a stress. It's a triggering situation, a stress triggering situation. That's why known as trigger. These are the stress triggers. For example, one person gets really stressed when he think about the exams. Being a student, you would have also gone through this. But there are students who doesn't worry about it. And they are good students. They have done best learning all their courses. On the other hand, there are also good students. When they hear or think about exam, they start getting stress. Even though they are good students, they have learned good. So it doesn't matter which ability you have. The stress can affect you, because stress depends upon your internal environment. There are people who are afraid of one or another thing. And how does it happen? I tell you a small story. When I was a student, I was learning, practicing meditation and yoga. I used to see people and try to help them. So one day, one lady came to me and she told me that there is one girl, she is now 17-18 years old, but whenever she sees some feather of a bird, she gets fevers. She try to get away. She get panic. It was just a trauma. I said, okay, I want to talk to her, and then she came. And I asked, why this happened to you? And then she said, I don't know. But whenever I see that a small feather from a bird, I get this agitation, a panic attack, like become mad. I can't withstand it. I tried to find out. I tried to talk to her without any success. Then I asked the mother how she was when she was a child. She said she was very active. We were living in a small house on one side, one side of the road, and the other side of the road They were having a small shop, and her father used to work there. But she was always trying to go towards that side of the road to meet her father. But in between there was a road, so there was a great danger of hitting some car or something. So then mother started to show her a feather of birds. If you go there, that will harm you. She listened. She was just a 1.5-year-old child, baby. But she listened very carefully. And then they hanged this feather in the door, entrance door of the house. And this girl used to sit and look at that object. And day by day, this object started penetrating in her subconscious mind and led to create a trauma. And then they changed the house, they moved to another place. She grew up, and suddenly the fear came up when she got adult. So whenever she see the feeder from a bird, she get the panic attack. This is how our mind works. Sometimes we are not afraid from a snake. We are not afraid from snake, but we are afraid from this mythological snake, which we have learned from the environment. The snake is a dangerous animal. The snake can bite you and you will definitely die. This kind of stories around the snake lead us to live in a fear of snake. There are so many stories I can tell you about such traumas which we inherit from our environment, or we just take it like a conditioning. So these are the trigger points of stress inside us. So what happens when we get stress? We get this stimuli from outside by one or another reason. This stimulates some chemical reactions in our body. First, the thought comes to our hypothalamus, a small place in our brain. And this stimulates our brain process. In the hypothalamus, the thought is converted into chemical transmitters known as neurotransmitters. And these neurotransmitters leads to the formation of different kind of chemical molecules in our body. Like our body starts producing more amount of adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisols to withstand that stress situation. Our hearts start beating fast. We breathe faster. We think faster. Even our eyes get more pointed. Our pupils in our eyes get more pointed. We start perspiration. Or we get the strength out of something. and we start shivering. These are the symptoms we are getting in a worse situation. But there is one more type of stress. This is the stress of daily life. A stress we are getting from our environment on daily basis, like a stress of working in an environment which we don't like. Under pressure we are working, or we are studying, or we are doing nothing, but still we have stress. This continuous low level of stress is more harmful than sudden stress. The deadlines which are created by our system upon us also likely to produce a light, very small, continuous stress. So actually this stress is old, very old in our lifestyle. It's not a gift from our modern lifestyle age. Biologically speaking, millions of years back, Homo sapiens were really a very weak animal. So they were dependent on other animals to get something to eat. And they were easy to be hunted. So they had this stress mechanism inside, fight or flight system. And this animal instinct in us causes all kind of stress. Logical, illogical, doesn't matter. So how to overcome this? How we can manage this? An ancient, old stress. We have to learn some methods. In ancient Vedas, in Vedic times, yogis have studied this phenomena very well. They came up with the idea to conquer this stress with a small key. They said the breathing is the key. Your breath is the key to overcome this stress situation. Because they learned the effect from hypothalamus till your body comes to your breath also, accompanied by heart, accompanied by your muscle movements, accompanied by your circulation of blood, accompanied by your thought process. So, if we are under stress, we are breathing fast. So, if we can learn something in stress situation, when we are breathing fast, if we can slow down our breathing with some method, we can slow down our heart rate, we can slow down our thought process, and we will be out of the situation of stress. This is one of the methods which was suggested by Patanjali and other yogis, and it is well known in India. Whenever somebody talk harsh, they say, "Oh, just breathe, just take deep breathe, drink some water, cool down, then we can talk. Just give some time to yourself to handle the situation properly. You will be out of it. And secondly, when you are working on your breathing, you're slowing down your breathing. Normally we breathe unconsciously. We are not bothered about the rate of breathing. It's just going on. So it comes under autonomic nervous system. So it goes on continuously. But when you give some attention to your breathing, you breathe consciously. At that moment, you are no more using your autonomic nervous system. You are using your central nervous system, your limbic region, and that is Satupadi, seventh chakra, on the top of your head. So when you breathe consciously, you produce special neurotransmitters. And these are endorphins. These are the molecules of happiness. These have the effect on your dopamine. So with the effect on your other side of neurotransmitters, the happy neurotransmitters, we can say, the chemicals inside you which make you happy, you can overcome the stress situation. Much people go and drink alcohol, smoke drugs, or take some medication for depression just to artificially produce the same effects which are produced by controlled breathing, whether you believe or not. So why not consciously breathing to control our stress situation? And to practice this, we need some special method. Maybe. In Vedas, especially in the Shiva Yoga, they have given different methods of breathing. Even Patanjali says a lot about breathing exercise. So why we need these exercises actually? So this is required to practice these breathing exercises, because when we really need those effects from the breathing exercise in our stress situation, we can use it. Otherwise, just like that, if I say now breathe 3 times deeply and everything will go off, no, it will not work. You have to practice it. You have to combine your breathing with your relaxation techniques. You have combined your breathing with your other exercises. You have to combine your breathing with your sleep. You have to combine your breathing with everything. So you will see in yoga, they have combined the breathing with different asanas, with different positions also. So each and every time you are consciously breathing, whatever you are doing. That's it. That you have to practice. By doing that, you can work out your stress. You don't need to write your diary about it. You don't need to find out the reason why I have stress, what is stress, where it is located in my head. No. Just give direct remedy. Do some sadhana. Do some practice and conquer the stress. There is a simple mantra which you can use when you're starting to learn breathing. Is Soham. So when you breathe in your heart, you say So. When you breathe out, you say Hum. So, Hum. So, Hum. By doing this, you will fix your mind on your breathing and the effect will start. Another method is to concentrate on the path of your breathing. When you breathe in, where does your breath go? It goes from the tip of your nose upwards toward your forehead, just near to the third eye, and then it moves down, goes into your lungs, and you feel the effect till your navel, till your abdominal muscles. And then you have to breathe out in similar way till your abdominal muscles are really unstressed. By doing this, you are working on your muscle, you are working on your breathing, you are working on your heart rate. And practice this for a while. There is one more method which is quite spiritual also, used by great swamis and yogis. You breathe in from your tip of the nose and just follow your breath till it reaches to your third eye. And you have to feel as if the breathing is just knocking on your third eye. It needs little practice. But if you learn this method, which is known as Sarpkala, art of snake, because you are breathing like a snake there, you can be a master of yogis. How long it takes, how much time you have to give, it depends upon you. No one can tell how much time you need for that. There are other methods which can be done, like counting. When you are going to sleep, just count from 21 backward. 21, 20, 19, 18, so on till 0, and from 0 back to 21. While counting, you will go and sleep. You count your breath in and out, go and sleep. Just by observing your breath for 5 minutes, you can compensate a deal of stress effect. Is stress required? Yes. Stress is required up to some level. It makes you active. It brings something in your life, a challenge to do something. It is all accompanied with stress. But this is a positive stress. Everybody needs that. But sometimes this positive stress slowly becomes negative. Shastras, the Vedas say, scriptures say, that the poison and the nectar both are in our body. It's upon us which one we want to drink. So the neurotransmitters, the chemicals which are stress related, are deadly. They are poisonous. If we inject that amount which we will produce during stress, we can kill one person. Similarly, on the other hand, they are endorphins. There are good happy molecules which were produced by our body. Sometimes we are so happy, we are intoxicated. Sometimes you can see the people who believe in God, they are intoxicated by the idea of God Himself. They are in very high mood. When you meditate, in the deep meditation, you feel the euphoria that you can't feel with any drug in the world. Why? Because this is natural. You are producing some chemicals inside you. This is a pure physical effect I'm talking about. While there are also spiritual aspects which we'll talk elsewhere on. Today was the time devoted how to manage our stress. So manage your breathing, manage your heart rate, and manage your stress. Start now. Breathe slowly and conquer the stress. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.